Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. This is the Spit Sports Show, Spit Sprint Week 6. I think we finally got our record down to below 11 minutes. I have my doubts that we're going to be able to do it this week. Like when the bye weeks really start coming and we've got like 4 to 6 teams on buys, then it's going to be a lot easier for us to break the record. I'm going to try my best today, but this was a really interesting slate of games. Spit Sprint, where I give you every single thing you need to know about every single NFL game in week 6 as fast as I possibly can, starting now. Philadelphia versus the Giants. This is the single most exciting Giants team of my entire life. I am 20 years old, and all I remember about the Giants is Eli Manning and Tyrod Taylor every now and then, and just consistently boring teams. Not anymore. Jackson Dart is, whatever you think of him, a very exciting quarterback to watch. Cam Scatterbo just runs like his neck is a wrecking ball. And with the Eagles, they have some real issues. With Za'Darius Smith retiring now in particular, their pass rush is going to be a problem. And their intermediate passing game has kind of been in a funk for the last year and a half. I'm very aware of the fact they won a Super Bowl in between that, but it just is what it is. If you look at the numbers, it just hasn't been good. Their run game is in a bit of a funk. I'm not saying that Saquon Barkley is washed, but some people are. It just kind of was a weird week for the Eagles, and they deserve to lose. The Giants, frankly, beat them, and they're a really exciting team to watch now. Over to London, New York versus Denver. Aaron Glenn is starting to lose me, and as one of the biggest Aaron Glenn supporters on this side of the Atlantic Ocean, I can only imagine how Jets fans are feeling. Him smiling when Garrett Wilson confronted him for that end of the half, just complete mismanagement. I don't know what was going through his head, but Wilson confronted him, and Glenn just kind of had like a smirk on his face the whole time. It gave me a very smug vibe, which I've never gotten from him before. Concerning stuff. Denver is so overrated. People who had them as a Super Bowl contender coming into the season, I'm going to need an apology from every single one of you. Nick Benito's awesome. Pat Surtain's awesome. You got a pretty good defense, but Bo Nix is not a top 10 quarterback, and you have no weapons around him, really, and the offensive line's fine. Seattle, Jacksonville. Seattle is going to go as far as Jackson Smith and Jigba, and this defense can take them. It seems like Sam Darnold, when he has just a clear-cut number one, he is able to force feed them like no other. It's kind of like a baby version of Matthew Stafford. The defense is really good. Jackson Smith and Jigba is really good. Sam Darnold's playing some really good football. This was a classic Trevor Lawrence regression game where he goes from playing just some of the best ball of his life to not knowing how to throw a quick slant. One step forward, one step back for Trevor. It feels like it's been that for his entire career. I still think Jacksonville's defense is pretty freaking good, especially considering how many possessions Seattle had in this game. I think Jacksonville's still going to make the playoffs, but Seattle's clearly just a little bit better than they are right now. Chargers, Miami. The last play to Ladd McConkey to set up the game-winning field goal is why people hop on Justin Herbert's bandwagon the way that they do. He shakes off a clear sack, gets out of it, spins, and finds a wide open crosser. Also, shout out Haskins, the running back, for some awesome pass protection as a running back on that play. But when are we going to start talking about Tua like the bust that he is? He was the 5th overall pick, and he's not a good leader. He blames the leadership for the Dolphins' issues when he's one of the captains of the team and the quarterback. Taking Tua over Herbert is going to be looked at as one of the worst draft day decisions ever. Still don't think Herbert is quite as good as some people do. Say he's, top 5, but heck of a play by him. He's definitely a top 10 quarterback. Rams, Ravens. I mean, good for Baltimore for at least fighting this time, but flatly without Lamar, this team is hopeless. Snoop Huntley couldn't get anything going on offense. Right now, sitting at 1-5, they're about 90% out of the playoffs to me. Like, I understand the pedigree of the team, but the pedigree of the team also insinuates that they would have some form of a defense. And to be honest, they played okay defense in this particular game. It's just there's no complimentary football in this organization right now. The Rams cruise to a pretty easy win. Arizona, Indy. All right, I'm willing to admit that Indy is actually a pretty freaking good team. They've got guys really at every level. Franklin's an awesome player on defense. He was ridiculous. Jonathan Taylor is playing like the best running back in football. Daniel Jones is last year's Sam Darnold. He just knows where to go with the football because Steichen's a great offensive head coach. Michael Pittman's playing out of his mind. Tyler Warren's the best rookie tight. Like they've got just players everywhere, and they're a good team. As far as Arizona goes, I think Jacoby Brissett gives the Cardinals a better chance to win week to week than Kyler does. Another guy who just is never talked about in the bust conversation that absolutely should be, first overall pick, and he's done squat for his entire career. I'm not saying Jacoby Brissett is better than Kyler Murray. What I am saying is week to week, he doesn't put you in bad positions nearly as much as Kyler Murray does. Dallas, Carolina. Jerry, so where is that run defense now that was such a big issue? And the reason you traded Micah Parsons to get better for this season. You know, this season was supposed to be the year of run defense in Dallas. And well, their former running back, who they let go for literally nothing, Rico Dowdle, ran for another freaking 200 yards. Don't get me started on the fact I didn't get to pick him up in fantasy. I'm still pissed at my dad for that. This might be the biggest win Bryce will ever have in his career. So, I mean, good for him. I don't see it with Bryce Young, but I mean, he played well enough to win. Dak to me is the most valuable player in the NFL this season. He's not the MVP because you need to win a lot of games to win MVP, and he's not. But in terms of most valuable to your team, it's been Dak Prescott so far, or Baker Mayfield. It's really a coin flip between those two guys. New England, New Orleans. All right, fine. Drake May is the guy. I don't know exactly how good he's going to be in the future, but he clearly has a pretty high ceiling athletically to him. But what he's doing to me with the weapons that he has, or in my opinion, lack thereof, is just incredibly impressive. He's got Stephon Diggs and kind of a career resurgence. If he didn't have that offensive PI, he would have had some big numbers. Demario Douglas is playing some football. Kayshon Boutte, guys you've never heard of in your life, are catching some big passes from the guy. The Patriots also have just a really easy schedule from here on out. They have a chance to win the division at this point. They're at the top of the AFC East. I don't think they will, but it's on the board. Their season success, though, is going to be determined by one playoff game. I think if the Patriots get into the playoffs, it's like that's a good season for New England. But if they're able to win that one playoff game that they have against, let's think like in the wild card, who's like the Colts. If they are able to beat the Colts in the playoffs, this is just unbelievable season for New England. I already think it's going to be an unbelievable season for New England. Just getting into the playoffs, considering where they were the past couple of years, is awesome. Cleveland, Pittsburgh. This really hurts me to say, but all I owe you guys is my honest opinion. Aaron Rodgers is quietly having an awesome season. Just an awesome season. He's not doing anything spectacular, but he's just knows where he needs to go with the football, making quick decisions behind, in my opinion, a bad offensive line and really only one receiver that he can trust. Pittsburgh still has a hard ceiling with the weapons that they have. It was my concern for the team coming into the season, the fact that it's really DK Metcalf or bust in terms of that passing game. But if they're able to get another weapon, this team could legitimately be dangerous, especially with Baltimore now kind of out of that AFC North discussion. The Pittsburgh Steelers might just roll to a division crown, and I don't know. I don't trust Aaron Rodgers in big spots whatsoever, but I mean anything can happen in the playoffs. Tennessee, Las Vegas, I didn't watch it. Tampa Bay, San Francisco. Tampa Bay, San Francisco. The NFL at the end of the day is a battle of attrition. It's who can be the healthiest at the right times, and the Bucks won that battle of attrition, really, in my opinion, due to one play, which was that Baker Mayfield scramble on 3rd and 17, which then led to a deep bomb to Tez Johnson. Guy is playing out of his mind. He's the MVP right now. I'm so impressed with what the 49ers have been able to do with their cluster of injuries, especially like I don't know how their defense is going to stay functional with Fred Warner probably out for the year. Man, I don't feel bad for San Francisco whatsoever. As a Lions fan, they've hurt me in more ways than you could possibly imagine, but I mean, I do feel some sympathy for them and their fans. Green Bay, Cincinnati. This fan base, I have zero sympathy, pity, or any positive or negative or any good feelings towards at all. The Packers suck. They haven't looked great at all since week 2. They wanted to give this game away so bad so many times. The offense looked like trash. I know Josh Jacobs finally had a good game, but he looks pretty washed. The Bengals O-line just got even more banged up in this game, and they just couldn't hold up. I mean, good job, Packers. Detroit, Kansas City. Whatever. I mean, it happens. Detroit didn't play their best football. There were so few possessions in this game. It came down to a couple of plays. St. Brown's drop on 4th down, which he literally never does. And that play, which definitely counted, but the refs somehow say it didn't because they got a call from New York. But then they say they didn't get a call from New York because if they got a call from New York, then it would be illegal because you can't review illegal formation penalties from the booth or whole bunch of shady. The Chiefs had 0 penalties for the entire game. Cool. A good job, Chiefs. Buffalo, Atlanta on Monday night. This was a really, really fun game. Buffalo's defense is a real issue, but that wasn't the reason that they lost. Buffalo more prominently has a wide receiver issue. Khalil Shakir is awesome, but Keon Coleman, although I drafted him in a bunch of fantasy leagues expecting him to break out, he has not done so. He's just flatly not technically sound enough to get open consistently. And outside of that, their weapons are really limited to some tight ends who are good, but I mean, these aren't Brock Bowers tight ends here. Allen didn't play well at all, which I can flatly say just didn't. The Bills need him to be really awesome most games for them to have a real chance, and he just wasn't. And I hate to say I told you so, but I did say coming into this year that I think Atlanta's defense is finally something to be reckoned with. Sure looked like it was last night. Chicago, Washington. One mistake was really the big difference in this game. I gotta admit, I've been impressed with Caleb's development. He's making the simple play so much more. It just seems like his fundamentals have gotten better. His ability to control the line of scrimmage, make pre-snap adjustments. Jaden Daniels is clearly better than he is, but he wasn't really last night because he made the 2 crucial errors. Great win by the Bears, who have now won 3 in a row, and they've got some real momentum going for the rest of the season. Bang, that's spit sprint. Okay. I am excited to see what that was without the intro because I thought that was pretty efficient. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm small enough as to where I can read all comments. Love doing so. What was your favorite game from the week 6 slate? What were your biggest takeaways? Let me know down there. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Spit Sports Show just over 400 subscribers. Please like the video if you really enjoyed what you saw. I just did that in reverse order than what I usually do, but I got to get out of here. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out. I love you guys.